Hey guys, this is Matt Beck from FreeSalonEducation.com, and I'm here with Thad and Justin Scott, and we're going to be doing some hair cutting. This is FSE Live number 11. This is our second season of this, I guess. Get the DVD box set. But yeah, so we're going to be doing some hair cutting. This is really just to have some fun, guys. Our salon day starts in 40 minutes about, so I'm just going to do a round graduation with you all. And if you have any questions, you can type them on the chat. So thank you to those of you that are joining us live. Thank you to Millennium Systems International, Demand Force, Mercado, Super Silk, and Minerva Beauty for supporting FreeSalonEducation.com. So you can see all the new videos and everything on our website. Now, we're going to go over a round graduation. This is one of my favorite things to cut. So I'm going to do it. It's all wet. And then maybe in the next cutting video, we'll do some dry detail work. I want to keep these videos as short as possible. So we're not going to go through and fully blow dry, smooth it, and do all that because it's a live class. So we're going to work on the wet cut today, and then next time we'll go in and do the dry cutting. So the keys with round graduation are really focusing on the head shape and also on your elevation. You want to decide how much weight you want to build up in the haircut or how much weight you want to remove throughout the round movement of the haircut. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off, and that'll tell me, make sure that the mannequin's nice in the camera. And what I'm going to do is comb the hair in the direction of the head shape, basically. So if I want to be working diagonal back, I'm going to be working with a low elevation to begin. And then as I work through it, I'm going to decide how much I want to elevate the hair based on how much density and how much weight I want to leave in the haircut. So I'm going to start by combing it back. I'm going to work a diagonal back parting through the hair. And then all I'm going to do is take one of my clips and just clip the rest of the hair away. So I'm just working with this part of the haircut, right around the temple area. Is this a good view, Thad, or should I turn a little bit? You're liking it? All right, if you like it, I like it. We're going to be about right here. Little twist. Better? All right. So now, I'm going to work with a low elevation, like I said. Really, the reason I want to start off with a low elevation right at the cheekbone, the scissor angle is back, is because I really want to build a strong line in the haircut. If I elevate it too much at this point, it's going to diffuse that line right away, and that's not my goal with this particular haircut. But if you wanted to, you could. If you wanted a little bit more of a shattered line, you could start with a higher elevation. So now we're going to work our way back. And the key to cutting a round shape is to follow the head shape, so my feet are constantly moving. Yeah? You're having a what? A rubbing sound? I don't know. Maybe it's my cheeks. Maybe my cheeks are hitting it. Yeah, exactly. All right, so I want to clean this section up just a little bit, because we're going to work all the way around to the opposite side of the head to start. All right, Thad, let me know. So there is going to be a little bit of an extra elevation right in the nape area. So once I get around to this side and I'm flat and I'm working straight across the back, now I'm going to move into just cutting right along the neck for the beginning part of the haircut. So I want to come in here. You see that, Thad? I'm going to follow neckline that way. So we've worked all the way over to that corner edge. And now I'm going to move back to the front again. The hardest part about cutting around graduation, and the reason it's, difficult for some people, is because you're constantly moving. And if you're constantly moving, it's hard to stay consistent in a haircut. So just make sure that you know where you're at the whole entire time that you're cutting. Comb that down. I'm going to comb and clip the rest of the hair away. All right, you can let me know if that's better. Does that seem better, Thad? So far, so good? Okay. So as I work through, now I'm going to drop some of the section. I don't want to pick up all the hair in my hand. If I do that, it diffuses my guide. So then I'm going to be confused when I lift it up on where I want to cut the hair. So just grab a little bit of that old hair. And now I'm going to start with an elevation. We're going to be working at about a 45-degree elevation. So 90 would be all the way up here. We're going to start at about 45 degrees. I want to build up some weight within the haircut. I like practicing that. You can see how it's going to fall nice and soft and tuck in there. That better? That. So again, grabbing some of the old, but not all of it. Putting that in my hand. And remember, as you shift around the head shape, bring her up, yeah. How's that? As I'm moving around the head shape, what's happening is when we round this corner, then we get the occipital bone in there. So the occipital bone is going to change our elevation completely. So I want to make sure as I come around, I was at a 45-degree angle here, but if I kept that same elevation throughout, now I'm at a 90-degree elevation or even above 90 degrees because 90 would be down here. So I want to start really dropping my elbow as I work around this shape to keep that consistent 45-degree angle there. And I'm going to cut straight across at the back here. That's really just because I'm going to cut that weight off later, but I don't need to start rounding it up yet. I'm going to drop this a slight bit. It's okay with you? Okay. Okay. How's this sound? Am I breathing loud? Okay. Yeah. I'm still breathing hard from the mud run a few days ago. All right. Good morning, Cyprian. It's actually probably the evening for him. But thanks for joining us. Nice. It's pretty good for not marketing it whatsoever. All right, so we're working our way around. I have a little bit for my guideline. Again, keeping it at 45 degrees. Normally in the salon, I obviously would not have to turn her head so much, but I would turn myself around her. But because we're shooting this video, yep. Okay. This haircut looks great on curly hair. It looks fantastic. It's one of my favorite shapes to cut on curly hair because it just really expands it out. So this haircut really looks good on any texture, I think, but I think it looks best on curly hair, and it's one of my favorite things to cut on curly hair. So dropping the elevation more because I'm working in the back, just like before. So you can really see how that round kind of feel to the haircut. And as you brush it back, this is something that's good for women and men. If you go shorter, nice and tight to the head, this is great for men's cutting because as it combs back, it has a nice flow to it, really seamless feel. And that's what the round shape's all about. Yeah, the greaser kind of slicked feel. But really, I love this as more, even though this isn't going to be necessarily a full haircut that you're going to do on somebody, it's a great technique to practice because of how much you're moving within the haircut. So it's good for practicing consistency when you're cutting hair. So grab a little bit of the old again. Back towards this. So you'll see now we're starting to work on the top of the head. So my elevation is getting even higher as we round that corner. That will just soften the edge. I mean, you guys have probably all cut or seen somebody cut a graduation that is just so heavy, and that's really all because the head shape is changing as they're cutting hair, but they're not changing. So you really want to make sure so now instead of having my elevation all the way up, my hand is dropping slightly. And then as I work in the back, it'll drop even more. Yeah. You could cut the whole perimeter. I like to work one side and then work the other. That's really the only reason. And but you could go through and continue all the way back up if you want to. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just my personal preference. I'm going to leave some of this hair out and disconnect it as well. So I'm going to start stabbing myself. It was stabbing them into my chest. All right. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to comb the rest of the hair back, again, just like I did at the beginning. Okay. Grab my clip here. A what? All right. So now I'm going to use her cheekbone just like I did in the first place. Now, that doesn't mean that they're always symmetrical, but I can always go in and check it after I cut just to make sure that they match up. But I really like to work towards the back. I don't, because I just like the cutting flow of it. It's my personal preference. You could wrap all the way around and then come back up the front. I think either way, you have to check it anyways. So I think do whatever makes you comfortable in that situation. So that's what I'm going to do first is go through just like I did in the first place using a facial feature a facial feature as my guide and make my cut. Same, what's that? Right. Well, and really you're getting started. That's a good point. I mean, you're getting started knowing, yeah? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we have no idea what you said. So Justin's saying because of teaching for so long, I actually don't remember what you said, but I know I'm gonna re-put it in my words. So the reason I like to start in the front both times is because if I worked all the way around here and I didn't stay consistent and I end up a little bit longer on one side, and then I finish and do the whole entire haircut, and then I step back and my haircut's done and one side's longer than the other side, then I have to go back in and completely redo the haircut. This way, I did one side. I know where I stand with that. Now I start the other side and I line it up and make sure that they match up. And then I go in and cut the rest of the haircut. So this just allows me to know that I'm starting in the right position for the haircut. Did that sum up kind of what you were saying? Okay. I should have got you a mic set up. I don't know what my problem is. Yeah, you could do that, Justin. That mic's on. It's number it's Christina's 5, so that's one you're using. I think you're 4, Thad. What shears? These are the Mizutani DB20. It's my favorite
Test.
scissor. Yep. You're good? Yeah, so just hang on. He did? I love the DB20. The Type Z2 is my favorite scissor, and you guys know that from watching the videos. But my Type Z2 needs sharpened. So DB20 is my second. I like an almost 6-inch scissor. So that's my preference. We just came out with the FSE scissor, which is the 6.5 inch. I love this for scissor over comb, but I don't use it for my main cutting scissor in that way. So, all right, continuing on. Justin's got a mic now, so if you want to hear his voice, turn the face away like this.
Hey guys.
Yeah, that's good to know. All right, working through. I'm having it's because I'm forcing the head around today. Having issues with the head movement here. All right, so now I left that corner earlier, so now I'm just rounding off that corner and connecting it with the rest of the haircut. That's why it's not that big of a deal to just go straight through and not start up already. Working diagonal back. I would say I'm taking about 1/2 inch partings in the hair. You don't want to go too thick. Basically, I want to make sure when I comb my parting down, my section down, I can see the guide through it. Then I know that I don't have too much hair in my hand. Keeping my finger angle parallel with the parting. It's another key feature here. Working our way up the head. Need to tighten this guy.
And it's second nature for you too. Most people, again, I watch people try to recreate these, especially when I used to teach, and even other educators. They cut past that second knuckle. They take sections that are way too big for them to handle, and I think that's one key why these lines are so clean. Because you don't.
Yeah, it's definitely important for sure. What's up, Drea? Welcome to work. What time is it, guys?
10:32.
So we still got some time.
Hey Matt.
Drea got me all freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh, clients are coming.
Hey Matt, when do you think
Oh,
you'll
you're
do a haircut on extremely curly hair?
What's that?
When do you think you'll do a haircut on extremely curly hair?
I need to get some extremely curly hair. I think that's the only problem because it's one of my favorite things ever in the salon. Those are going to become more the point of view videos than the like FSE live classes. And then eventually I'll find a model or something that has extremely curly hair. But I definitely love cutting curly hair.
Yeah, you do.
And I will make sure that I was actually just in the store the other day looking at GoPros because I'm going to I'm going to have one available so everyone can wear one on their head whenever they want.
I'm hearing the feedback now. You know, in like Transformers, when like all the technology goes crap and it's that weird kind of crunchy noise in the background.
Yeah.
You sound like you're a robot.
Really?
Yeah, you're a robot and you're breaking the microphone.
Like I always sound like I'm a robot, or just
no,
occasionally?
Like occasionally, it comes and goes.
Okay.
No, that's I hear it in. Really? I'm not. Ah, maybe it's my headset. You're still a robot though.
Is Sip still hearing it?
No, not seeing nothing.
All right, so I'm working up towards parietal ridge area here, clipping the rest away. That's about where I stopped on the other side. So I want to leave some disconnection in the haircut so that later on when we do a dry cutting portion of this, we can have some fun with it. So again, elevation, this is 90, so I'm going about halfway there just to give me that buildup of weight, but not too extreme. Yep. I think you need it more than that, like that. Right through there. So you can see I'm just grabbing and dropping comb. Yeah. Oh. Nope. All right. Dropping that elevation, working through the back. So now we have that long disconnect, which I'm actually going to take up. We're going to clip that hair away. Once we get that twisted out of the way, I'm going to go through and just do a quick cross check of my round shape in there. So obviously if I went diagonal back to cut the hair, now I can work diagonal forward and just check the haircut. I like to start just right here into the back and work diagonal forward this way. Now the key is to take really small sections, and all I'm doing is slightly fine tuning. Turn. So just taking really small 1/4 inch sections and just checking them and dusting off the ends. That's all I really want to do. I don't want to take too much hair in my hand. If I pull too much, a lot of people go to cross check. I remember in beauty school, my teacher would come over. What's that? Yeah. How about after I talk? I'm getting into an important point, Thad. And then, so we'll work 1/4 inch sections. My beauty school teacher, I remember one of them, I'm not that one, not the one that's watching, hopefully, would go through and they would grab to cross check, and they would grab a ton of hair at once to cross check. But you can't do that because as soon as you grab a lot of hair and you pull it up in your hand, you're stretching it from too far away. So you're not getting a clean line showing anything because as I bring this hair out here, this is all individually stretched straight out. Now, if I take a larger section, now I'm pinching it in. So it would be like if I took a horizontal section and cut it pinched like this, you're going to get a different outcome than if you take a horizontal section and you cut a line like this. So when you're cross-checking, don't grab too much hair. Just grab a tiny bit of hair and dust the ends and clean it off. So we go through, and I'll just straight out from the head all the way around, cross check the whole haircut, and then we can go on later, and I'm going to cut that disconnection. So to tie in the disconnection, we'll probably just do something fun. We got time, right? So I'll work this side, fingers facing down, making sure we're nice and clean. All right, everything's good. So now I'm going to let down what will be a disconnection. I'm going to comb it straight back. And it will be disconnected, but obviously I don't want to leave it this long and then blow it dry. There's no point. I want to give it a little shape.
For a second there, it looked like a new age mullet.
I know.
Like all work on the top, party
It's
on the
all part of my
sides.
evil plan.
To mullet the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet looking, actually. I think we should just leave it. But
I think that's great.
the world of YouTube will definitely complain about that one. All right.
They're going to take our
So I'm
award
going
away.
vertical back. And I'll turn it, Thad. I will turn it. All right, so vertical back here. I'm going to cut this section in half, so I'm not trying to work with the whole thing. Down. Yeah. I'm going to work up. Okay. That better? All right, so our guide we're not going to use, because if we use a guide, it connects everything together. There's no point in a disconnection. So I do want to know where that line is going to start so that I don't go too crazy. But I'm going to elevate straight up, go past that guideline, and start cutting.
For a
yes,
second.
I did pass my second knuckle. That's to get all the hair out of the way.
I'm quitting. I lost all hope in you. All faith is gone, Matt.
And then I go through and I clean up the line. The second knuckle Nazi people.
I was the worst about that. I would carry a spray bottle with me.
Spray them
I would
right
have
in the
it
face.
as a laser beam. I'd get them across the classroom in the ear.
Okay, so now I'm working straight up. There is a slight diagonal to it, changing my finger angle a bit, just to push a little extra weight to the front. I might use a little bit later, but keeping that disconnection over the back that we're going to work with in the dry cutting in our next segment. All of this is coming straight out from the head. Using what I just cut as my guideline. Past the second knuckle. Then shifting.
If any hipster was stranded on an island with his man bun, and if it grew out, this is what it would look like before you cut all that top off. Fluffy on the sides, long on top.
And this looks great on curly hair as well because you're leaving that extra disconnected part over the top. So you have your real strong shape at the bottom and then your extra kind of disconnection that gives it that curl kind of bounce. So you have your structure on the bottom. Same thing here. This is all going to get cut into again in the dry cut, but I like to just get it somewhat where I want it first. All right. We'll do the same thing on the opposite side.
Now here's a question for you. When on a cut like this, with hair like that, would you switch up your combs, maybe do a longer one with some more teeth to it if you're trying to comb through some bigger sections?
Like wider teeth?
Yeah. Have you ever had issues with?
It depends on the hair type, you know. Like, I like working with. I don't really ever like working with a longer comb. That's just my personal preference. But I do like to work with wider teeth, went on curly, maybe denser texture, or denser hair. So it just really depends on the person. Right now, I'm just dealing with a mannequin. It's giving me a tough time because it's not human.
Now, did you make a cutting serum for that?
I did. I used the Mercado gel that I really like. It's not even because it's a cutting serum. I just like putting the product in pre-haircut. So you can see how that kind of builds up. And then we got some disconnects in there. Actually really liking these, so I think I'm going to leave them like that. Turn her. So you can see if it was on curly texture, how that kind of lifts up. Obviously, I'm going to cut into some of this other stuff. I like having these things. What time is it, guys? 10:44. Yeah, so from this episode, what I would say is practice your round graduation, cutting that way. What we're going to do is next time when we get into the next FSE Live haircutting edition, we're going to go in and dry cut this same haircut. We're going to do the detail work around the sides. We're going to mess with the disconnections and really just show you guys the finished shape result. So if you guys have any questions, you can type them in now. Otherwise, we have Splitting Hairs tonight, which is every Wednesday night at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And that's pretty much it. You can.
Do you know when the next live cutting class is going to be?
The next live class, we're going to do them once a month right now through the summer to get through the summertime. So we will have another live class next month around this same date. So whatever the last Wednesday of the month is, but that doesn't mean it's going to be cutting. It could be something else. So we're going to put out a schedule that'll be on freesaloneducation.com for all the upcoming FSE live classes. And that's pretty much it. Anything else on there, Justin?
Nope. Everybody's we got 23 viewing now, which is awesome. For
Nice.
This early on a live class. That's cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching FSE Live number 11. And we will see you guys next time on number 12 next month. Last Wednesday of the month, remember. And check out freesaloneducation.com. We'll see you next time. Yeah.
Watch Splitting Hairs, the Hairdressers Podcast, live every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or as close as we can get it.